Hey there, this is Ian Flanagan from freedominvestingacademy.com, and in this video I want to talk to you a little bit about title companies and title attorneys and how important it is to pick the right one to be on your team, so whenever you bring a creative deal to those professionals, they'll be able to close that for you without any snags. So I'm going to start with title companies. Now obviously title companies open escrow. Whenever you get a property under contract, you have an earnest money deposit that you send over to escrow. It can be $10, it can be $100, it doesn't matter what it is, but they escrow those funds, and that's also the account that they move the proceeds in and out at closing. So if you're selling to a cash buyer, those proceeds come into escrow and get dispersed out that way. Title insurance policies. Now, let me explain clearly that title companies are in the business of writing title insurance policies. The title attorney doesn't write a title insurance policy. It's the title company that writes a title insurance policy. So you always want to buy title insurance whenever you purchase a property, so that protects you of any liens or anything like that that comes up afterwards. Traditional closings. Most title companies just do traditional closings. And what I mean by a traditional closing is you have a property that's listed on the MLS, represented by a broker, and then another agent brings a buyer and they open escrow, and then let's say FHA or private conventional funding or wherever the financing is coming from, they write a new loan and it pays off the old loan, and they write a new loan with a new deed of trust and so on and so forth, and then the lending company wires in the money into escrow. They pay off the debt, and then the buyers or the sellers get the balance of the proceeds. That's kind of like a traditional closing. So you want to be sure that the title companies that you're doing business with actually handle investor deals, and I'll get a little bit more into that here in a second. Back-to-back closings, and this is what I mean. Back-to-back closings are when you have a property in escrow, and let's say you have a cash buyer lined up that's going to buy that property for more. Well, a lot of title companies these days won't allow you to do that just because that's not the type of transactions that they are used to. Not to say it can't be done, but if you try to bring a back-to-back closing or a double escrow to a title company that's never done it, you might run into some snags. And some of the things that you might run into is they may have you sign, or they may want you, your seller, and your buyer all to be in agreement that you're going to buy the property for $100 and sell it for $130. Well, you don't want your seller to know that you're selling it on the same day for $130,000. So it's very, very important that you have a title company that understands that type of transaction. And if you are wholesaling a deal and you are, if the title company won't let you leverage your buyer's funds to make the payment for your purchase, then you're going to need to bring in transactional funding. And that's typically a way that you get around having to disclose to both parties about what you're purchasing it for and what you're selling it for. I've had this happen a couple times over the years, and we've had to bring in transactional funding. There's a lot of different companies online that you can find that will fund those deals and charge you like 2 points to do the deal. But very, very important that you understand that a traditional type of title company won't close these types of deals. So now we're going to move into a little bit more creative deals, buying property subject to, where you're taking the deed, you're taking ownership, but you are leaving the mortgage in the name of the seller. Now, if you take that deal to a title company or a title attorney that doesn't know how to do those deals or haven't done them before, the deal could blow up on you. You may have to pull it out and go put it at a different title company. So the best way to find those title companies that'll do those types of closings for you is just go down to your local real estate investment clubs and just ask around, and you will find the players in your market and find out from them, get a referral from them of what title companies and title attorneys are closing these types of deals. Wrap mortgages. So if you buy a property subject to and you want to sell it, create another note, that's a wrap. A little bit more creative strategy, but once again, traditional title companies won't close those for you just because they're not familiar with those types of transaction. And all a wrapped mortgage is simply is just another lien on the property, and it's typically higher than the first lien. So just make sure you're with an investor-friendly title company. Remote closings. This is what we do in my office. So we get all the closing docs sent to us. We print them off in our office. We have our office manager notarize them, and then we scan them, email them back, and then drop the originals in a file and send them off. And this is how you can do deals all over the place just by doing remote closings, and make sure that your title companies will allow you to do that, because sometimes they want you to come in and do face-to-face. And when you're doing a lot of volume, the last thing you want to do is have to drive down to the title company every single time you want to close a deal. So make sure they do remote closings, and make sure they'll help you out with that. But the most important part about picking the right title company is they have to be investor friendly, and they have to understand creative real estate. Very, very important that they understand creative real estate, the subject twos, the wrap mortgages. So every title company has a title attorney on staff. But that doesn't mean that you can't close with just a title attorney. I know states like New York, they don't even have title companies. They have third-party companies that write title insurance, but everything is closed through a title attorney, and that's how it should be, because that's how you're going to save a lot of money. Once again, title attorneys have an escrow company. It's basically a bank account that they put money into, and they transfer money in and out. So title attorneys can do that for you. But here's the most important part about understanding the difference. A title attorney is the person that writes all of the legal docs, you know, the warranty deeds, the note. I'll get a little bit into that here in a minute, but they draft all the legal docs, the documents that actually convey title from one party to the next, and anything that's going to get recorded in public record. So it's very important to understand that title attorneys are separate from the title company. The title company charges all their fees for escrow and, you know, everything that they do to get the property ready to transfer, but it's the title attorney that actually drafts the legal docs. So if you can find a title attorney in your market, then you can bypass a lot of fees and just take all your docs to the title attorney. The warranty deed, right? That's the document that transfers ownership from the seller to yourself, or from you to your buyer. And now that document gets recorded at the courthouse, and most of the time they just do electronic recordings. So they have a system that they can literally scan it and electronically record it. Once it gets recorded, then you can get an original sent to you from the county. So the note is the collateral. It is the instrument, or actually it's the IOU. The note is the IOU that if you borrow money from a lender or a seller carryback or something, it states the terms of the money that you owe, and your attorney drafts that as well. The deed of trust. Now this is the document that collateralizes the house to the money, most commonly known as a mortgage. So deed of trust investing is very powerful for investors, especially if you're looking for private lenders or something like that. You need to speak the language of, you know, you can have them invest in, you know, first lien deed of trust. That lets them know that they're going to get a first lien position. And the deed of trust is the document that's recorded that basically states that they loaned you X amount of dollars, and this is the property that they're going to collateralize. So if for whatever reason the payments don't get made, the deed of trust states that that investor can take that property back. They call that a foreclosure, and that's exactly what banks do. Disclosures. If any type of creative transactions going down, you always want to disclose. If you're buying properties subject to and you're leaving the mortgage in their name, you need to disclose to that borrower the seller, the risks of the transaction. Yes, there's a due on sale clause. There needs to be a disclosure that they understand that. Now, when you're selling and your borrowers or your buyers, you want to disclose to them that there's an underlying lien on the property. We call that the underlying lien disclosure. So you want to disclose to both parties all aspects of the deals, and your title attorney can draft those documents for you. Affidavits are basically just confirmations and acknowledgments that a payment's been made, something's been signed. Whatever each party needs to be notified, you're making a public notice, you sign that on an affidavit. So if they've received a certain amount of money, they can sign off on it, that they've acknowledged and received that. So your title attorneys can draft up your affidavits as well. Once again, remote closings. Make sure that you're working with a title attorney that will do remote closings for you to help streamline your process and your business. But most importantly, you want to make sure that they're investor friendly and they understand creative real estate financing. Most title attorneys that are in real estate, the ones that get referred to a lot of investors, they're actually investors themselves. So it's very, very important to find those title attorneys that are in your market to help you close your creative deals. So listen guys, if you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe to this channel so you'll be notified when the next one comes out. Or if you have any questions about this video, just go ahead and type it in the thread below. And if you'd like to watch any of the other videos that we've put up, come over to our blog site at freedominvestingacademy.com. Get engaged, ask me some questions about some of the videos that I've shot. And I'm looking to help you take your business to the next level. So thank you again. Have a great day.